It's the L.O.S, no O, low show. Here we go. If you didn't know, this is called the show. Yeah, this is called the show. It's the L.O.S, no O, low show.
Yo, what it is, what it ain't, and what it's gonna be. It's your favorite L.O.S, the last one standing, and this is the Low Show. Our guest on this episode is back for another helping to give us the big score on how his life went down. You know him as Coach Lamonte. I know him as something other than that. We do not use that name anymore. It has been retired. He comes to us by way of North Carolina via
Charlotte,
Detroit.
Man.
He is a D-Town native.
That's right.
But I met him in Manchester, Connecticut.
We ain't gonna mention Manchester.
So back from some more of the Low Show, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Lamonte.
My man L.O.S, how you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well. You looking good out there as usual.
You know what? You looking good too, man. You know, just making it do what it do. You know,
my mom thinks
Charlotte has been. Oh yeah, I see you, man. I see you. I mean, yo, we always were the best looking of the group. You know, of the crew. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking a lot of those brothers from back in the day, but yeah, it's good to be with you, man. I like to say it's good to be seen than viewed. You know what I'm saying? So,
indeed.
Yeah. So it's good to be with you this morning, my man. Good to be with you.
Now, you were on the show before. That's back when I had a co-host.
Yep.
He has since departed and gone on to bigger and better things. He won an Emmy.
Oh, good for him, man.
I
was nominated. I was nominated for one, but I didn't win it. Maybe
next time, and since you said that, YOUDay has now been syndicated.
Yes, man. YOUDay, it's daily 60-second motivational, inspirational messages. We are as I decided to do this outside because it's such a nice day here in Charlotte. So you hear like garbage trucks and everything going on, but this is real life, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, YOUDay. When we first started, when we first talked, I believe YOUDay was just in its infancy stages, and we were just on one market, and we were starting to take off and create traction. And now we're on in 12 markets around the country.
Yep.
And that's growing, and we anticipate that we're going to be on at least close to 50 by the end of this year. So it's starting to roll out, but you know, we're seeing that a lot of people are eating up this content because number one, they want something positive, especially where we air during the newscast on many local stations.
They
and that's
need
what people,
something positive on them.
Yeah, they need something positive because you know it seems like the news programs, the newscasts, they're dominated by negative stories. So if we were able to bring something positive to it, we knew that we could change the face of how people see motivation, and that's exactly what we've been able to do.
I love it. Now, some of those states that have it syndicated already are
North Carolina, Connecticut, Mississippi, Montana, Washington State,
wow,
and Virginia, and continuously growing up. You know, so we're excited. We're excited to see how this all unfolds. You know, I never start anything without a bigger picture in hand. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the key things is that when you start something, it's important that you have that big picture of what everything is going to look like and how everything is going to play out. And if you don't have that, then you're wasting your time. So you got to have that big picture in mind as you start anything. So there's a big picture on the other side of YOUDay, and I'm excited to get there, but I'm taking it one step at a time.
I dig it. Now, you've said you need to see the bigger picture.
Right.
Which is more, how shall I phrase this? What part of this journey has been more difficult? The planning of the journey or the actual seeing through of the planning?
Man, I would say the The most difficult part of this journey for me is I get this smoke. You know, it's my cigar time. It's my cigar time. So make sure I don't get this smoke on. All the religious people be like, I thought he loved the Lord. I do love the Lord. But he ain't saying nothing about him not smoking a cigar.
Hey, they brought him frankincense and myrrh, and that was not.
But one of the most difficult things is learning to pace yourself. You know, for me, it was, I wanted everything to happen right now. And I had to understand that everything had to play out the way that it has to play out so that the bigger thing that you desire will manifest and happen. And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up, that, you know, we don't like the little steps because the little steps only show us little results. But when the overall picture is realized, then we're like, man, I'm so glad that I continue. See, people quit. People quit when they don't see things happening quickly, and understanding that, you know, a child spends time in a mother's womb for 9 months before that child is born. There's a development process that takes place in the hidden places. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always take place in the visible part. We want the visible. We want everybody to see what we're doing, but it's in those hidden stages that development is coming together. And I think that for me, that was one of the most frustrating things, being in that hidden place, as all these things were starting to manifest and they were all developing. I was ready for the big stage. I was ready for, hey, let's get this out there. Let's get this out there. But understanding that a lot of things, if they're done prematurely, don't always last. And then people, and I believe that the audience is smart. The audience is intelligent. They will always see something that is not prepared. They will always see something that is not thoroughly thought through, and they will be able to detect it. And once you lose them, you lose the project. So that was one of the most frustrating things for me.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
Now, you mentioned being ready for the big stage. I've known you for well over 20 years now.
No, man, yo, you need to do your math, brother.
well over 30 years now. So well over 30 years.
Not putting no number to my age.
Nah. All I can say is black don't crack. You never believe how old either one of us.
It don't crack. It don't crack. Half a century, man. Half a century sitting here, man.
You and I have actually shared some stages together.
That's right. Back in the day.
And talent shows.
Wow, you going there, huh?
Even going to clubs. So Coach Lamonte, once upon a time, was a regular person like you and I.
I'm still a regular person, man.
I'm getting there. He's still a regular person. He's just much more mature and discreet about his BS.
Okay, so, you know, before the show, we were talking about something, because I've been trying to get this brother to come to Charlotte just to, you know, check me out, come visit and everything. We planning a trip. But I told him, I'm like, hey, you know, you can come as early as next month because New Edition's gonna be here. And he was like, man, he went into his like whole L.O.S negative thing. And I was like, yo, you know, back in the day, I always wanted to be a part of New Edition. I thought I would have been a part of New Edition. And then this brother started to criticize me and say I couldn't dance. But back in the day, a brother could handle his business accordingly. Now, I wasn't a dancer like you. I would admit. However, I could have fit in. I could have been Johnny. Because Johnny, let's just be honest, Johnny ain't the best dancer.
Johnny still is not the best dancer, but that's the reason Johnny didn't get put on in the first place.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't sing like Johnny, but I was decent, you know? So
see, now if you can't dance and you just decent, how you getting in the New Edition?
Even I'm not gonna criticize my brothers because they got some brothers in the group that don't have the strongest voices. So, you know, I think I would have been all right.
You talk about Michael Bivens?
Yo, I am not going to call out Biv. I am not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. That's what you did. Yo, I'm a huge fan, man. I've been a fan for New Edition ever since Candy Girl.
Always, you know, man. We grew up listening to them dudes. Like,
yeah.
That's how we bonded. We bonded over New Edition songs. Candy Girl, Mr. Telephone Man. You
know what? We bonded over music. And that's the thing. I just, music has this power to really bring people together, regardless of what your differences are, regardless of what your political views are, regardless of what your race, your creed, your religion, whatever it is. Music just has this power to bring people together. And the most disappointing thing I see, especially in music today, is that it doesn't seem to hold that power anymore. We got to go back in time to listen to a lot of the classics to kind of get us to, you know, come together. I think one of the funniest things and most interesting things is my kids listen to music today that I was in the clubs listening to when it first dropped on a CD or a cassette tape. Remember how we would take a cassette tape, man, that was by another group. And remember they had the little two holes?
That's
you would
right.
just put the
Stick the little paper in there.
You can record over that.
Yep.
You know, those days, you know, they will never understand that those were the moments, those were the times that good music was being made. And today, you know, we have an industry where I think that a lot of people are more interested in fame than talent. I think that people are more interested in how can we get this to the mainstream instead of, you know, understanding the elements of what good music is and how good music comes to be. So that's the disappointing thing. But for us, man, we bonded over music. I mean, music was always the centerpiece of our entire crew back in the day. I mean, everything from EPMD all the way to Public Enemy, all the way to Nice and Smooth, Tribe Called Quest, you know what I'm saying? And then we got into when we wanted to be thuggish, we got into the Mobb Deep and the Wu-Tang and everything. So yeah, leaders of the new school. I mean, that was who we were, and that was that music that just helped us to just help us to come into an identity of the time, so to speak.
That's right. And notice, ladies and gentlemen, New Kids on the Block was not on that list.
Oh no.
They were not our.
No.
Nope. But all the girls,
no New Kids on the Block.
All the girls we knew loved them. Couldn't go to not one girl's house without seeing that poster.
Well, I don't know about the girls you were chilling with, but the girls I like, they wasn't into New Kids on the Block. They were into me. I was the new kid on the block.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
Oh, man. Even then, remember, we had to stop at a payphone, make a phone call. My beeper was always going on.
Oh, God. I didn't have a beeper. I was a good child.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
This your show.
And speaking of our childhood, when you were a child, when you were younger, you always said that you would end up on television.
Yep. You think about that. Think about all the conversations we would have back in the day. That was the one thing that I always talked about. Regardless of anything, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that television was going to be my game. I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I knew that I would get there one day. I did not know how I would get there, but that was the only thing that I ever talked about. And I talk to people all the time, and I ask them, you know, what was that one childhood thing you wanted to do? And so many people, they will say, I always wanted to do this, but now they're caught up in this 9-to-5 world, but their dream and their desire was what they wanted to do when they were younger. So I always ask them, well, what happened? Where did the disconnect, come from what you desired to do to what you are right now? And many people say the disconnect came when life got in the way. I needed to make money. I needed to be realistic. See, and that's where you lose people. When you talk about what is realistic, see, for me, television was always realistic. Anything outside of television was unrealistic. But for me, television was the realistic plan for my life, because that was the one thing I always saw myself doing. And we got to get to that place in our lives where that realistic thing is the thing you've always desired to do, not the thing you're doing right now just for a paycheck, because that's the unrealistic path that you took. But get back to where it is that you always desired and saw yourself, and that is where you will find the greatest promise for your life. And that's how it happened for me. And it's still growing. And I'm still, there are certain things in this television industry that I want to do that I have not done. Well, I've done to some point. I've done, but not to the magnitude of what I would like to see myself do within that industry.
See, I just set him up and he knocks him down, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm here for. This is the Coach Lamonte show. We're gonna call it The Score. Now, that being said, when was it as a child that you realized television, the limelight, the big stage, the show, so to speak, was for you?
Man, I can tell you right now, I was 9 or 10 years old. My mother, I grew up in Detroit. You already said D-Town, Motor City, Motown. Grew up in Detroit. My mother worked for a television station, WXYZ, ABC affiliate there. And
hold on, wait a minute. WXYZ, ABC.
Yep, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, my Detroit folks that are watching right now, you know, it's always been that whole, they begin in the alphabet and they end in it.
Okay.
And my mother would take my brother and I, my brother Michael, would take us to the studio, to the station all the time. And the moment that we got there, I would run straight to the studio and I would talk. I would just look in the camera and I would just start talking. You know, it was empty, of course. I knew then that I wanted to use the camera to help people. I always had this compassionate heart to help people. I was able to see how many people were hurting around me, even as a young age. I saw people who were distressed, people whose lives were taken away by drugs and alcohol. I saw people who were, even at that age, committing suicide. I saw death growing up, you know, on the streets of Detroit. I saw people murdered and shot and killed. I saw unemployment at unmeasurable numbers, and I saw families that were being broken up. And that's what I saw, that taste of. There is a world that is happening outside of this safe world that my mother was creating for us. I saw this world outside of that I felt a responsibility at a young age to want to do something about. And I knew that as long as there was a camera and as long as I could stand in front of it, I could reach the world. And that is how I grew up at the age starting at nine years old. And from that point, I would go home every day. I would sit in my living room. I would interview 3 stuffed animals, and I developed this show called 30 Minutes, you know, a knockoff of 60 Minutes. And I would religiously sit there for a half hour every single day, interviewing these 3 stuffed animals every single day, because I was learning even at that time to not only love the camera but love the people that are sitting next to me as we're discussing life in front of the camera, and the people that are on the other side of the camera that are actually going through life. And that's where it all happened for me. And I've been riding out a 9-year-old's dream ever since.
Hey, you know what they say, you got to chase your dreams, because if you don't, nobody else will.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
It is February.
That's right.
A great man once had a dream.
Well, I thought you were going to go Valentines, because I don't got no Valentines this year.
we are still here. We are still kicking strong. And you mentioned Valentine's Day. This is the Victor Carlo Valentine's Day is for Suckers snapback.
I've seen you talking about that a lot.
In lavender and teal. And Valentine's Day is for suckers, since we're on that point.
Okay. I'm not going to disagree with you.
And I know you know. And I say that because a lot of people don't take the time out in their relationship to care for and nurture and love their significant other, and they wait for February 14th to just pile it all in one ginormous bag or sack or box. SNL skit, and give it to their significant other and say, "Here, I love you."
Yep.
That's not how that works.
It's not.
Y'all motherfuckers is suckers.
Well, you know what? The people that are prospering, man, are the people that are selling the chocolates and the candies and and the cards and the reservations and the flowers and all that stuff and the jewelry. They're the ones that are prospering right now.
Yes, sir.
Because they get you to a point that you can only express yourself on one day, to really tell. But love is about expression, and I mean, I'm not in a position to really talk so much about love right now as I'm walking through a separation. But but I've learned enough to understand that love is something that is done on a daily basis, not just a day basis. And there is, and love is a language that is spoken every day.
Yes.
And I think even to what you say is for suckers. I mean, you look at any holiday, any American holiday, it is a build up to something that prospers, some type of corporation. You look at Halloween, the funniest thing for me was I was at a store and it was October 30th. And I saw like all the candy and the costumes and everything. And then the next day I was at the same store, ironically, and boom, there's still the candy, and now it's like half price and all this other stuff. 2 days later, November 2nd, walking in that store, you saw no sign of Halloween. Now you saw Christmas stuff up everywhere. And I sat there and I'm like, wow, it's one mindset to the next. It's one switch to the next switch. And just that whole cycle of manipulating people to get into a mindset to celebrate another day. Thanksgiving is something that should be done on a daily basis. We give thanks to God. We give thanks to the people that are in our lives. We thank them for giving us a sense not only of themselves, but a sense of life, a sense of appreciation for keeping us going. Christmas is more than just giving gifts. It's not about that. We should be giving a piece of ourselves on a daily basis.
It's the L.O.S show. Here we go.
Now, television, TV, big stage. We talked about it all. We've mentioned YOUDay. We haven't really got deep into the YOUDay story. And I don't think we should. Because I want to bring you back. Because if you predicted that it would be syndicated, and it now is, I want to know what your predictions are for 2024.
Oh, wow. That's good. So where will I be in 2024? YOUDay will be on. I'm gonna bring now where we're at in 2024. At the beginning or at the end?
I'll give you at the end of 2024.
At the end of 2024. Oh man, that's a good one. Brands will be on. There are two major brands that I want to bring to life. One is Aroma, and Aroma is our coffee and beverage line. That's connected to YOUDay. Coffee, tea, and water. Bringing that to forefront. The other one is YOUday, and YOUday is the science of skincare. So I want to bring that to life, and those are the two things that I want to really, focus on and bring forward. And as in brands. Now from YOUDay and the spinoff of YOUDay, getting YOUDay on more television stations by the end of 2024. I declare we're going to be on all 210 television markets around the country, and even in television markets around the world. So I believe that I start to see that traction going. The other thing too is developing some other programs. We have some talk-related lifestyle programs that are in development. We have some different podcasts that are in development that we're getting ready to launch sometime this spring, going into fall.
You developing competition for me?
No, I'm no competition to you, brother. You've had this space for a long time. I'm no competition to you. I'm learning from you, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
But that's where I see, you know, one of the things I desire most is to get back on that speaking stage.
Okay.
And to get in front of audience in a motivational, inspirational standpoint, and telling the story, telling people how to go after what they desire most and how to get that thing they desire most, and just how to maintain yourself within the steps of getting to where you desire. You know, because you can be going after everything but lose every part of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to maintain that. You just want to make sure that you maintain those pieces. Because we go into many industries. I believe any industry that you desire to get into, there are people that will love to take the pieces of who you are. You know? You look at a puzzle. All right. The puzzle comes in a box. Mm-hmm. And on the cover of that box is what the picture looks like. But when you open up that box, you see a ton of pieces that are scattered all over the place. And then you have to use the cover as reference to what those pieces are going to develop and what they're going to be, what they're going to become. Mm-hmm. So that is where so many of us are. You know, we just opened up the box and we see all these scattered pieces. An incomplete puzzle is any puzzle where there are pieces that are missing. You can complete the puzzle, and I've done this before, completed a puzzle, and then you got like 10 pieces missing. And you're like, man, it does not look like the cover. It just looks like it's something that's missing that you put the time into, but something is missing. It's only because somebody took those other pieces. And somebody have separated those other pieces from you. And you gotta find out who has those pieces and get those pieces back. And I think that a lot of people getting into a lot of industries have to become aware that there are people that want to take pieces so that you will never be complete. So maintain your pieces and maintain your integrity in whatever it is, and understand that you go into an industry to change it, not to succumb to it.
Well said, brother. I couldn't have said that.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
I know, because you don't know English.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Coach Lamonte. We will not be bringing
My brother, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
As I am of you.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
This is all about the stage. This is all about the show. This is not a show for you, though. This is your life.
Yeah, this is my life, man.
Every day, all day.
Yep.
And if we had to put your life on the big screen, who would play you in this movie?
Oh, I think everybody knows who would play me.
And who would direct this movie?
Oh, man. Oh, that's...
Now, who would play young you first?
Oh, man, I don't know who would play young me. It would probably be an actor that is not even discovered yet. I know a dope version of me would be played by none other than who?
I don't know.
I would say probably like a Tyrese Gibson. You know, we look alike.
I was gonna say Tyrese, but yeah, Tyrese he don't man. He didn't age as well as you, brother.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'm older than him too. So
he on national TV crying and
I think that would be the older version who would play my story. Younger version, I'm not certain yet. I don't know who that would be. But what I do know is that it would have to be more than just a movie. This thing would have to be some type of Netflix-like series over time, because I don't think 2 hours could really put a lot of the nuggets of what I went through and I experienced in my life. I don't think it would be enough time. And
I think Idris Elba should play you.
Idris, okay, all right. That would be cool. That would be cool. You have to, lose the English thing and then get into that Detroit, New England, Southern slang thing. You know what I'm saying?
But sure, it'd be easy for that, brother. Either that or Malik.
It is. He's a phenomenal actor.
What about Malik Yoba?
But any actor is going to have to go into that deep, dark place. All the stuff that I've experienced and stuff.
Yeah.
Having conversations, man, with seem like the devil face to face, try to destroy you. You know what I'm saying?
Hello, I'm sitting right here. Don't talk about me like that.
You're not the devil.
I am not.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
Just the entire totality of my life and how I'm still here, how I'm still, you know, kicking. It's only been by the grace of God, man. You know, just giving all my flowers and my props to Jesus Christ himself, man. I mean, like, you've known that's just been my story, my life. And that's just how it is for me. You know, it's just, you know, without the Lord, man, I don't know where I would. I know where I would be. I would be dead. You know, either by the hands of somebody else or my own hands, and more likely would have been by my own hands. But you know, I wake up every day just excited about living, knowing that I got a reason to live.
Yeah.
You know, the longer I'm alive, the more people that can be helped. That's the way I see it. And I can't be selfish to get caught up in so much of my own drama where I'm ignoring the people that need to be helped. So that's where I am right now. I live for my kids too, you know. So yeah.
As we all do it. Parents. Being a parent is a wonderfully beautiful thing, but it is a major responsibility.
It is. It's a major responsibility. And you know, I'm a parent to 6 kids, all girls, 1 boy. And
of course you
know,
had girls and 1 boy.
You know, for real, that was God's way of punishing me. No, I love my girls. But as a father, I've just discovered that, you know, it's every decision, you will be hated and loved with decisions that you make. You
with
know,
the flip of the switch, just like that.
With the flip of a switch, you know. So when it comes to parenting, you know, I think that you gotta be willing to make tough decisions to lose the crowd temporarily.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you have to stick to your yeses and stick to your nos. You know, no has to mean no, and yes has to mean yes, without wavering.
Yeah.
So I have tried to the best of my ability to be the best parent that I could. And you know, this is the other thing that I discovered too, which is really interesting. And I say this to all parents: when you see your kid, and the thing that, you know, because there are times, man, we love our kids, but let's just be honest, we don't like our kids. There are times we just don't like them. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I mean, let's just be honest.
I can't say that. My daughter lived right upstairs. She ain't about to come get me. Nope.
But if she wasn't upstairs, you would tell the truth. And
nope.
You know, that was,
she still come get me.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
When we see our kids doing certain things and it irritates us and we get upset, we get angry, we get bothered, we're like, oh, I just want to. And then we take a self-reflection and like, man, that's the one thing I hate about myself. And then you remember that it is you that put that in them, and boom.
That's just like sometimes I see the dudes that my daughter is dating or has dated, and I think about why I didn't like them little mother. You know why?
Because they were a lot like you.
They reminded me of me when I was a 17-year-old douchebag, breaking hearts and crushing souls and using people, and so I see it and I'm like, why, Lord? What? I wasn't that bad. Come on.
No, you
really?
weren't.
No, yeah, I was horrible.
I was worse.
If you're listening,
if it had not been for the Lord our God.
If you're listening on Spotify, you want to see my face.
It's that L.O.S show. Here we go.
I tell people, don't run from your story, embrace it.
Yeah, man.
And then share your story, because you're going to teach somebody else something.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I am literally about to sit down and write a book based on small stories throughout my life, starting from Squire Village all the way up until I got out of the military.
Yep. You write it, you know, because every see what our pain is somebody else's breakthrough.
Indeed, it is.
Our pain is somebody else's breakthrough. Instead of asking, why am I going through this? Ask yourself or ask God, who am I going through this for? Because on the other side of your pain is somebody else's breakthrough and somebody else's answer. You know, sometimes you're the person that's selected to go through a traumatic experience because there's someone else that can't handle and isn't as strong as you are, who could have gone through that. But before it starts, they hear your story. They hear how you came through. They hear how you were able to maintain your integrity, how you were able to find your answers, and then that builds them. And as it builds them, then they don't have to walk through what you walk through. And that's how your story will never, ever be in vain. Never.
And that's why when some people celebrate your pain or your mishaps or your shortcomings, it's not because they want to see you go through it. It's because you just helped them out.
That's right. That's right. That's great outlook right there. I mean, and that's the way that it is. And, you know, not being silent. I think that so many of us remain silent when it comes to telling our stories because we don't want to be manipulated by the people that we tell our stories to.
Because it makes us seem weak.
Yeah, and we don't know if that person is going to use elements of our story against us one day. But you can't think about that because the one person that hears your story and hates, there are 50 people on the other side of your story that hear your story and love. And that's the way we got to do. We just got to wake up every day. Who can I love? Who could I be there for? And
who can I help?
Who can I help? And what part of my story will change somebody else's life? You wake up that way, you're going to be straight. Simple as that.
Sir. That's it. That's a mic drop.
That's a mic drop right there.
Ain't no more to it.
I thank you for having me on the show, baby. Let's do it again.
We will. We will do it. Most certainly do it again in 2024.
Yes, sir.
That's when you're going to be back. But I'm going to be in North Click before then. Fingers crossed. I'll be there in August.
Man, come on. We got work to do, brother.
Hopefully No Edition comes back when I get there in August just because I'm there, you know. Because I can dance. I just can't sing.
Isn't this where your credits start coming in?
Yeah, right here. They rolling right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for you on this episode of The L.O.S Show. I'm your favorite L.O.S, the last one standing. This brother with the shiny bald head right here is my man, my mellow, my longtime brother from another mother. Hi, Mama Odoms.
She doing good too.
Coach Lamonte.
My man. Yo, thank you for having me on today. And to everybody, keep dreaming, keep living, keep loving, and just keep being you.
Shameless plug. Just keep being you. Speaking of plugs, I know you're gonna need a voiceover artist.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Do I need to send my resume? What's up?
Nope. Not at all. We're gonna talk.
Hey, y'all still here? Get out of here. Turn this off. Click next. Go do something else.
Later, y'all.
Peace.
It's the L.O.S Show. Here we go.
Hey, it's just me. All by myself. Little old me. Coach Lamonte and I touched on a couple of subjects that are pretty major and serious. So I just wanted to take this time to apologize to any of you out there, especially females, that I have ever mentally, emotionally, or physically hurt. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. I apologize. And I'm here now. If you need to talk, or you just want to smack the shit out of me, it's cool. Because some of the things I did, I deserve to be smacked. by a few of y'all. But that's it. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to apologize. Because I know it got a little, it got fun, but it got deep, all in the same conversation. So I'm sorry. Y'all be easy. Have a blessed one. I'm your favorite L.O.S, the last one standing. And this has been the L.O.S Show podcast. I'm gone. Peace.
It's the L.O.S Show. Here we go.